I have a process video for you today using a cut to U file. This is, I believe it's called the arrow file. I'll have it linked below, and I'm just showing you some of the supplies I'm going to be using, although ultimately I end up not going with my original plan. So I have some whip spackle and I have some Kiwi Lane templates here, and I'm going to create a mixed media background. I'm going to start my background by applying a fairly thick layer of whipped spackle onto my paper. And then I'm taking these Kiwi Lane templates, and you can see here that I am pushing them down into the wet whipped spackle. This is creating this lovely kind of textured arrow shape all over my layout. So I'm going to do this everywhere down the entire side of the page, and then I let it set up and dry. And now I'm taking some Shimmer's paints. I do so love a good shimmer paint. They're my favorite. These are It's Meant to Be, Pull Me Close, and Pinko de Mayo. So I'm getting some of the paint out of the jar. My paints are almost empty. I need to order some more from Spiegel Mom Scraps, which is on my to-do list for as soon as I can. And she's actually restocking, so I'm actually waiting for her to restock. And then I'm going to reorder all these three colors because they're kind of my favorites. I go to them quite often. So I am taking this wide flat brush from Brutus Monroe, and I'm just painting. I'm watering the paint down a bit because I want to really get that texture, and I don't really need it to be a really thick coat. And plus, these pots of paint have a ton of shimmer. They're not very big. So by placing them on my glass media mat and adding water to them, I can really stretch them so that they will last through quite a few backgrounds. So I'm just going to take each of the colors. I'm going to put the color onto my media mat. I'm going to hit it with some water to thin it up a bit. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to spread all the colors onto my background. I'm just going to continue on here, adding color until I have the whole background covered, and then I'm going to set this aside to dry. As you can see here, I am just letting these colors mix and match. I have all of the arrow shapes to one side of the page because I know that that other side is where my cut file is going to go. So you can really see the arrows here and the arrow shapes and how I created that textured background. So now I'm just going to clean up and let all of that dry really well, and I'm going to go ahead and back my cut file. I backed my cut file using papers from Coco Vanilla Studios' Boys Rule Collection. I just pulled out the grays and the aquas. I really pulled my colors directly from my photo. And I'm going to add I have pink in the background, there's pink in my photo. I'm going to add one more pink element onto the page. For now, I have backed my cut file with just foam shapes. They're not sticky anymore. Their sole purpose was for me to be able to cut them up and to back things with it. So I'm just going through, I'm going to pull all the backing paper off. I'm going to add some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my cut file situated on my mixed media background. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my photo, and I've done the same thing. Half that photo I have some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive on, so it will adhere nicely to the mixed media background. I'm just going to get this kind of straight. I'm going to move things around a little bit because I'm noticing like some of the arrows kind of cockeyed a little bit when I put them down. Fortunately, they are not stuck yet, which is kind of one of the reasons I love my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, so I can kind of move them around a little bit, get everything straight and just the way I like it. And then I can move on to my journaling. So my journaling element is where I'm going to bring in more of that pink. I have this Altenew stamp. It's a rather small stamp. It says currently, and it just has all these things on it, like currently loving, currently watching, currently reading, those kinds of things. And I am grabbing some Altenew Crisp Dye ink in baby pink, and I'm just going to hit that with my Misty twice and get a nice journaling block ready to go that I can do my journaling on. So this little piece that's going to be the currently journaling spot, I called my younger son over and asked him all the questions currently. What was he watching? What was he listening to? What was he reading? What was he doing? All those kinds of things. And so I can go ahead and add the answers to his questions onto this little journaling spot. I would have had him write it, except that this ended up being a very small space. So it worked out better if I went ahead and just got his answers. You can kind of see his little shadow there because he was behind me. So I trimmed up that journaling spot and then added a black border so it can pop off the page. And then that added my third little bit of pink. So now for embellishing, I'm going to keep things really simple. I don't want to cover up that whole background that I worked on, and I love that texture, and I think it looks awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my title up at the top here, which is just going to be awesome. And then other than that and that little flare badge here, most of my embellishment is going to be these clear stickers. I have a hard time using clear stickers on pages, but I find them to be fabulous for certain applications, and one of those applications is definitely a mixed media background because it adds pop, it adds interest, but at the same time you're not covering up your whole background, so your background is still the star of the show. So I'm just going to go here, I'm going to grab some foam squares to pop up this little flare badge, and I'm going to use that flare badge on my layout. I'm sticking to blacks and whites with just little pops of teal for this layout, and because the other colors, I really wanted to stick to the colors in the photo, and there is a little green in the photo, but and not a lot, and I didn't like the way that the green color and the pink played off each other when I was putting my embellishments together for this layout, so I'm just going to kind of ignore the green that's in the photo, and I'm going to go through here and just grab all the clear stickers. Most of the stickers are black, and I'm using the little plus signs, and I'm using some stars, and I'm using the arrow stickers. When I went through the die cuts, I did find that the die cuts also had a lot of these different elements in them, but I didn't like it against my background. I really wanted my background to be on show, and so these clear stickers were perfect, and the clear stickers were sticky. I didn't have to add extra adhesive to them. They actually stuck to the mixed media background without a problem a couple days later. Removed from this layout, I can tell you that those stickers are still sticking and they're not falling off, so that's a really awesome kind of added benefit. I'm doing all the clear stickers. I'm just going to sprinkle them amongst my die cut arrows, and I'm adding the little phrase stickers that I think work for my layout, and just having fun. And this used up a lot of stickers, which made me super duper happy. I cardstock stickers, the die cuts, everything else, I felt like they took away from my background, which I didn't want to do. So that's where we're going to leave this one. Be sure to head over to the Cut to You shop. You can find a link to that below. If you want to get a little bit of a closer look at this layout, there will be all of these photos up on the Cut to You blog. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this kind of quick mixed media background, and I will see you all again soon. Bye!